All right, and welcome back, folks. We're getting set for the final game of the day and the tournament boys championship matchup. Should be a good one. Spencer Edwards alongside the girls' assistant basketball coach here at Clinton High School. That, of course, is Brian Lewis, as he's been kind enough to join us here for the 3 afternoon games. Of course, he had to coach in the first one that got going at 11 o'clock earlier tonight. But we should have a good one here. Grandview Christian taking on Warrensburg. Give you the starters here for Grandview. Mario Cheatham will start outside at guard, 6-foot senior, followed by number 5, Irving Liz, 6'1" senior. Dallas Allen, one of their big 6'7" guys inside, also a senior. He'll start in there along with Peyton Downey, the other 6'7" big guy. Both of them are seniors, and then Anthony Watkins starting outside at guard. Eli Nappy will start at guard today for Warrensburg, followed by Shelby Pitzenbarger. He'll start at the other guard. Carter Bell will start at guard, senior 6'2". Nappy and Pitzenbarger, both juniors. And they've got Trevor Key starting at guard. He is a 6-foot senior. And then Cooper Berry will get to start inside tonight. He's one of their big 6'6" post guys, and that'll be a very interesting matchup. A lot of size on the floor here, Brian, in this one. Lots of size, 6'6", couple 6'7s, and I think Warrensburg maybe even has another 6'6" kid off the bench.
6'4s.
Yeah, 6'4" off the bench for this Grandview. So this should be an explosive ball game here. And again, we get a missed tip there. I think we had that in the last one as well before we get going. So we'll do it again.
Well, you can't blame the ref when everybody's 6'7". You think you can throw it to the ceiling and they're going to get it.
That's right. That's right. So a lot of good players in this matchup here on both sides as well. And they're, well, did they do it again there?
We'll try it again.
Try it a third time here. Of course, were you here the other night when one of the officials forgot his whistle? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, gosh. They got out here for the tip, and he realized he'd forgotten his whistle. So he literally had to go back to the locker room. And, of course, everybody had a good laugh about it, but that's the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. So here we go, man-to-man pressure out of the gate. And the Tigers and Grandview, of course, both these teams 2-0 in the tournament. And a nice shot down inside. That's Brooks Baldwin getting the turnaround. And kind of contrasting styles in this game. Warrensburg, big physical, slow it down team. They like to run the cross cuts a lot. Grandview will pound it inside and also shoot the three pretty well. Liz, nice whip pass into Allen, and he'll score it.
You know, coming into this game, Grandview, I was extremely impressed with how patient they are. The last game I watched of them, they got exactly what they wanted to get, exactly when they wanted to get it.
Here's a kick out. Here's Eli Nappy, and he's a kid that's really impressed me in this tournament. He has been really solid for this Warrensburg team. He was big for them against Lakeland in their comeback win in the first round. As they get the kick out, Downey, the big boy, driving it, and he's going to draw the foul.
I think they called the walk first.
Oh, they did, yeah. So that is footsteps for Downey.
You know, Downey's impressed me. Also, the number 5, Irving Liz for Grandview. You know, if you're Warrensburg, you definitely don't want to let him get going. He can play.
He filled it up against Clinton the other night. Here's a good kick out. Baldwin for 3, got it. We check it, that's Patterson rather. So Preston Patterson off the feed from Baldwin. And Warrensburg off to a good start here, up 5-2. We just wrapped up the girls' championship game, and congratulations to Nevada. They were able to knock off Adrian to win the girls' championship. Here's Watkins off the dribble handoff in the corner up top for Allen. They'll move these big guys around. They'll play in the corners, and they put them up on the wings, and they'll be on the block a little as well. Watkins out near midcourt. This Warrensburg team, they'll get out and guard you. No question. As Watkins, Allen is going to split the double team and scores it.
Good move. You know, Grandview's going to pick up, pressure a little bit.
And Baldwin able to reverse back. Didn't have that extra defender that time for the trap. A little high screen and roll.
Big boys are going at it here.
That's a matchup indeed right there. Berry against Downey, and Berry is going to kind of win the first battle there on that entry pass to him, and he draws the foul. So Berry to the line. And
you know, I know Downey picked up a foul there, but as this game progresses, watch him on the block and watch his feet. He has outstanding footwork for a big man, and he's able to get to the basket. He's got up and unders. I mean, there's a lot of things in his tackle box that he can pull from.
Yeah, he's just a big, solid kid as he knocks down a free throw there. So 7-4. Warrensburg, the visitors on the scoreboard here. 5:30 to go, opening quarter. Watkins on the handle. Here's Allen. Ooh, very close to a walk there, but he scores it off the glass. 1 point ball game. There's that high screen again. They go with Nappy in the corner. There's the kick. That was a good extra pass, and it pays off there, Brian. They got that extra pass, and just great execution. Yeah. Coach Nimmo, I mean, he's one of them disciplined coaches, man, and you have to run that offense to a T, and they've done it in the first 2 games. And there's a turnover. Going back the other way is Grandview with their second. And he's going to be out of bounds there. So running out of real estate is key. And Grandview able to force the turnover and get it right back. Cheatham out top. Watkins for 3 over the top and gets it to go. Had a hand right in the face. Pitzenbarger challenged.
That was a good set. I saw Grandview, call out some kind of a set play, and, good screen, well executed, good look, knocked it down.
Made him pay, and that's the thing. I think that'll be one of the things to watch is certainly the three-point shooting and how Warrensburg's able to cover that up. Because this Grandview team, kind of similar to Lakeland, when they start getting going from 3, they'll hit a bunch in a row on you, but Warrensburg has been the team that shot the 3 better thus far. Baldwin missing there, as they miss a couple in that left corner. And Grandview out of the pack with the rebound. So 9-9 ball game. 4-minute mark here in our first quarter. Downey back to Cheatham, now to Watkins up top. Cheatham left side, really forced him to go left there. You can see Baldwin overplaying to that opposite side, and Liz now in trouble. Slings it in the corner. Watkins with it. Good defense here for Warrensburg.
It really is. Warrensburg, the ball's on one side of the floor. Their entire team's on that side of the floor, help side. They're going to give up the skip. They're just trying to keep them out of the paint.
Allen with it. Downey over in the corner calling for it, but they get to Cutter there with Liz, and he'll score it. So Irving Liz, as Brian mentioned, very solid player for this Grandview team. Another one of their versatile guys that can play inside out. Here they break some pressure. Nappy in the lane. Nice dish off to Pitzenbarger, but he missed it. Boy, how did that not go down there? The rim was unkind. Allen the other way to Watkins. Shot up and no good off the glass. Rebound to Barry. Tigers down 11-9 with the basketball. And there's a foul out top. I think they're going to get Liz for the reach in. So Liz going to pick up number 1 there. Team foul 3 on Grandview. And into the ball game for Grandview. I think we hadn't had a substitution yet. Yeah, he started to come in, but
Mario Cheatham checked back in.
Yeah, looks like Roverson, I think, is the one they had up off the bench. Then they set him down. Now he's back up, so he'll come in, I think, next dead ball. But they get a good look in the post there again. And we're not at 11. That's the big guy, Barry. He did. Yeah, that was a little quick travel there.
Yeah, I caught it. Take a couple steps.
Yeah. Little screen from Downey. Watkins going to go right into the teeth of Pitzenbarger. Forced him to go that way, but he says, I don't care. I'll just spin back, and able to get the reverse and gets it to go. And they split the pressure. Well, they started to, but there's a nice play by Liz. Just when you thought you were going to be able to get it up over the top. And that's the athleticism, Brian, from this Liz kid. I mean, he can take stuff away from you.
I mean, you think it's open, it's not open.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally going to have to move their hands. You know, if you do want to go there, do like a fake soccer pass over the top, let them go up in the air on the way back down, go ahead and make the pass because they're going to jump at everything.
Here's Baldwin. Nappy out head of the key. Barry, middle of the paint, puts it on the deck. Good extra pass, and Pitzenbarger gets hammered inside, so he'll go to the line. As they get the little high-low action there, and Pitzenbarger cutting across that low baseline, and as soon as that ball comes middle, you saw Grandview crash in there, and they forgot about the backside, and Pitzenbarger took advantage of it. So free throws coming up here with 1:22 to go. Pretty quickly moving first quarter.
And that's good news for Warrensburg. That's 2 on Downey.
Yeah, that's big. Very big as Pitzenbarger hits that first. And it's 15-12. Barry going to come to the bench. And Coach Nemo, he has a pretty deep bench as well. He'll use a lot of different combinations out there with the lineup. Pitzenbarger knocking that one down. Back to 2. Cheatham right side. Roverson now into the game for Allen. And Roverson breaks his man down off the dribble and is going to draw the foul. So athletic play there for Robert Roverson. And Nappy got that foul, so 2 early ones on Nappy. Or no, that's just his first. I think they had the wrong number at the beginning there. But team foul 1 on Warrensburg. First free throw good for Roverson. So 16-13, slight lead for Grandview. And Roverson, number 2 on the way. And there's an over the back on Cheatham as he tried to get in there, and Nappy had position. And, you know, that's one of those, Brian, it's so hard for kids. You're trying to crash the boards, but you see a lot of those calls there where the guy gets the positioning.
Yeah, you just got to be smart about it. You know, once you get caught in the air like that, you just can't. I mean, it's very obvious. You try to go over the top of them with that one arm, even though you think you're going to pop it out of there. It doesn't even matter if it's a foul or not. If it looks bad, they're going to call it. Yeah,
the official definitely going to give the guy that has position the benefit of the doubt most of the time.
Out and running.
Got a run-out opportunity. Watkins, no, but Allen, yes. Dallas Allen using that size at 6'7", able to get the putback. And here comes the trap. Warrensburg's handled it pretty well thus far. Baldwin up top. Pitzenbarger down to 33 seconds to go first quarter here in the boys' title matchup. Kills the dribble out top, and they reset with Baldwin down at 24. Plenty of time.
A little delay game here. Going for 1.
And Nappy set that little down screen. They kind of stacked up here at the top. Not real good spacing. Now they kind of, there they get spread back out. Down to 8. Good defense for Grandview. Baldwin struggling to get a shot off here. Pitzenbarger missed. And there's some contact, but no call at the end. So good first quarter of action, 18-13. Grandview Christian with the advantage, as we'll be going to the second here in just a moment. And I want to thank our sponsors, Primitive Old Crow, Oak Star Bank, Landmark Restaurant, Jim Risick Auto Group, Hankins Grain, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Aaron Collins, C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing, Hobby Time Motorsports, and Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping. So glad to have you along here this afternoon, and glad to be joined here by Brian Lewis. He's the assistant girls basketball coach here at Clinton High School. Of course, the Lady Cardinals lost a tough one earlier this morning in the third place matchup. Clinton boys lost a tough one to Lakeland. Both Clinton teams playing hard here today, and this is, of course, James Hinkle, Sounds Like Video Production, and we've been with you all week long here during the tournament. And just to quickly mention how these two teams got here, started off early in the week. Grandview Christian, they've looked very impressive in both their games. They beat Eldo 64-42 in their first round game, and then came back and had another very impressive win over Clinton I believe that was Wednesday night, 89-53. Warrensburg beat Lakeland Monday night in a really good ball game, 63-57. And then Warrensburg came back and was able to beat KC East pretty easily in their second one, 66-47. So Warrensburg, I guess Brian's had the closest game of the two teams in the tournament thus far.
Yeah, you know, the thing Warrensburg's got to be careful of is that what just happened there at the end, that last transition, they get a rebound. You know, you just can't do that. They're going to have to get back. I like their defensive scheme. You know, you can see how they're clogging the paint. See, there's almost all 5 players are on one side of the floor, and that's keeping them at least out of the lane and trying to take shots like that.
And there's a tough shot. Liz was off balance, and we get a foul here underneath on Warrensburg. Or excuse me, on Grandview. They gave that to Roverson, number 1. Yeah, I think so. So that was number 2 for him. And Baldwin, nearly a 10 count there underneath. Pitzenbarger, back cut. And 2 for Pitzenbarger. And Warrensburg knocking this lead down, 18-15 here. Liz in the corner. Kick out. Roverson traveled. So Grandview giving it right back to Warrensburg here. Turnover starting to come into play a little bit. And Nappy will be throwing it in here for Warrensburg.
You know, the other thing, too, though, Warrensburg, they got to realize, I mean, Downey's on the bench. I mean, it's time. You know, this is when you got to kind of make a run, try to take the lead here, you know, get up 4 or 6 or so. I don't know when he's going to put him back in. Obviously, they'll put him in the second with only 2 fouls, but probably 5-minute mark or so, he'll put him back in. But a good time to take the lead. Get the ball inside. Get it inside.
They're looking for him, trying to post up Barry. He's got position there. Just couldn't quite get it in. There's Baldwin looking. There it is. Yep, good entry.
And,
good move, but didn't fall. But that, I think Warrensburg, like you said, Brian, they'll take that. That's what they want. And
do it again.
Yeah.
He just happened to miss that one. Maybe get a better angle, get it on the glass this time.
Kind of like we were talking in the Clinton game. You know, Renfro needs a touch, a possession, and I think Warrensburg probably feels the same way with Barry. With the other 6'7" guy out. Here's Allen going to pull back and hit a 3. So the 6'7" Dallas Allen, and that's where they're scary, because if he comes out and starts hitting that 3 ball, that's going to be tough. So 21-15. So Grandview's been able to maintain this lead. Warrensburg's made a little run. Barry setting that pick. And back out for Nappy.
Yeah, get the ball inside again. They almost have to. You know, I know he is 6'7", but he's got so much weight on him.
Yep.
You know, he can move him.
And
there's a nice inside and out.
Good look. Perfect 3 ball for Pitzenbarger. Excellent job by Barry there on the kick out, and felt that double team coming in on him. And as you said, it's just a numbers game. You know, you kick that ball out, and you got a guy, as we get an offensive foul here on Watkins, he is not happy with the call, but it's going back the other way, so a little momentum shift. But, yeah, Barry, he has got to assert himself right now. And you said Downey, he does have 2 fouls right now.
He's got 2. He'll probably set another minute, and then he'll get back in. I mean, he probably won't set him the whole second quarter, but – you know, this is a time, I mean, get the ball back inside. Liz is on him, you know, and Liz can jump, but he's 6'1".
Here's a travel on Nappy. So Warrensburg will give it right back. And sometimes Grandview, I've noticed in the first 2 ball games in the tournament, they had played stretches without Downey on the floor, without both of them, Downey and Allen both. But here it's, you know, a little bit because of foul trouble. But he'll kind of rotate them in and out. But most of the time, they're on the floor at the same time if they're in a position to do so. So Watkins out top, 5 minutes to go first half. Tight ball game thus far. Allen on the kick for Liz.
Extra pass.
That was an open look for Watkins. And a foul underneath. Foul on Grandview, and that is already going to be 1-1 time here for Warrensburg. So bonus time here, Brian, with 4:50 to go in this first half. So I think an advantage shift here for Warrensburg a little bit.
You know, I'd be, even though that's probably correct, I would be talking to referees and the fouls are 8-1. You know, Warrensburg's not fouling, but sometimes you talk to referee and look at the scoreboard, and you know they'll start calling some and ones and trying to balance it out a little bit. But
front end of the 1-1, no good, but Nappy gets the rebound. So a big rebound there for the Tigers off that missed free throw. Baldwin, nice spin move, and there they get the kick. Nappy, good look at a three, and he got it. So Warrensburg's made him pay a couple times on that corner three. And we are tied at 21.
Tell you what, it'd be nice to be a 6'4" shooting guard, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it, though?
Oh,
man.
My.
Can you imagine? I mean, that's just and that's what they're looking for now in basketball. There's another triple. Roverson showing some rain. I think we were talking about that a little bit the other night, too, is how the game has changed and everybody wants that big, like the Kevin Durant, of course, the NBA level, the 6'10" guy that can shoot the three.
Yeah, definitely. College. I mean,
college, it's changing.
It just completely changed.
Yeah, if you're a big guy now, you got to be able to shoot the ball, whereas, back in, even 10 years ago.
It hadn't been that long ago. It really, it started with Kentucky, and Calipari was his dribble drive. It was the first time that I ever
drive
saw,
and kick.
Not a motion, screen down, screen across, but really to spread them out and let them play. And it went from the dribble drive to kind of a, 4-out cutting, and then now it's space the floor and let it fly.
Full court pressure here for Warrensburg a little bit as they come across, kind of full court man-to-man. Liz working in that corner. And facing up to the basket, Roverson gets underneath, and I think they're going to say that was tipped out by Warrensburg. So it'll stay with Grandview Christian here. 3:41 left in our first half. Boys championship game. Wrapping up the Clinton tournament here this afternoon. It's been a fun week of basketball here, and I know Clinton is really excited to be able to host a district later in the month. So it'll be exciting and good attendance for that as well. Inside, near walk, and there is the walk. They called it late, made that second step through there, and it's a good call, I think.
I was trying to get a better angle.
Yeah, I got caught and right into the teeth of the defense. Substitution here for Coach Nemo's team. And they have a bench that they will rely upon most of this ball game. And they make it tough on you at both ends. And here's a bad pass stolen away inside. And a foul called at the other end.
That's a good foul. Stop the transition.
Marcus Tart into the game now for the Tigers, and Jackson Nemo in as well, and they're going to bring Key right back in. So he literally just came in for Nemo. Nemo's going to come out now. A little speed substitution there.
Sometimes you just pull him off the floor and talk to him.
Yeah.
That's all that. Grab a quick drink, whatever he wanted to tell him, and then go.
Here's Liz on the take, and a foul called. And that'll be going inside there on Trevor Key. Be his first, team foul 4.
Yeah, he must have said something.
Yeah. Very possible.
That one was kind of ticky-tack.
Underneath, here's Watkins. Going to trigger it in for Liz. Man pressure, really looking to force Watkins to use that left hand. And he'll take it into the corner. Roverson, offensive foul. Charge on Roverson.
Kind of saw it coming, didn't you?
Yeah, you sure did. As soon as he left his feet there, and I was thinking, well, maybe is he going to kick that out, but it cost him.
Off that first dribble, I was like, you better pull up.
Yep.
And then he took the second one, I was like, uh-oh.
Better pull up or kick out,
yeah.
and neither one happened. So it pays off for Warrensburg. Tigers have it back. 24-21. Grandview with a slight lead, but this one's been really tight all the way through thus far as we come down to the end of the half.
Well, if you're Warrensburg, obviously you want Barry to touch the ball here. Get the ball inside. When they've done that, good things have happened.
Baldwin left side with the dribble, working in tight space, kicks it out for Pitzenbarger. They're all over him. There he is.
There he is.
He's got position. Baldwin just didn't want to throw it in that time. Here's Nimmo, baseline jumper, no good. And here comes Liz. He'll push. Foul on the floor in the corner along the baseline. Coming up here. We'll see if they get Baldwin, and they do. So Baldwin, number 1. That's his team's 5th. And it'll be Grandview ball underneath. And again, Nimmo out of the ball game. Key back in. Watkins for Liz, left corner. Allen leads the way right now for Grandview. He's got 11 to lead all scorers. He's got the ball here out top. And he can be a handful. Here's a tough step back 3, and Liz buries it. Wow. And I think that's exactly what we were talking about, Brian, in the pregame. He can do that, and that's a tough shot and very impressive.
If you're guarding him, you just say, I got the next, I'll try next time, because there's literally nothing you can do about that. But, if you're Warrensburg, you just have to limit that. That might be something they talk about here at half. But
run out layup for Roverson, so it's back to 29-21. Yeah, turnovers have hurt Warrensburg a little bit. That's really the only main difference in the game right now. Here's Nappy, little give and go as the big fella gave it back to him on the cut, and that was a pretty play. Nappy with the finish. So under a minute to go, 29-23 in favor of the Eagles. As they'll back it out near midcourt. See if they hold for the final shot. Looks like they will. Under 40. Good thing there's no shot clock in high school basketball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I keep waiting for that to happen. I'm very surprised unless it's something like – the only thing I could think of is that obviously you'd have to pay to put them in everywhere.
Sure.
You'd have to pay somebody else to run it, at every home event. But other than that,
it is kind of surprising.
I'm kind of an old school guy, but I think it would be good.
Roverson missing, and then Pitzenbarger no good from midcourt. So that'll take us to halftime of our boys championship and a good ball game, 29-23. Grandview Christian with a slight lead over Warrensburg here at the half. And I was actually thinking about that too, Brian. I was wanting to get your opinion on the shot clock. I think me and James had discussed that a little bit as well earlier in the week. But you would just have thought by now if it was going to happen, it probably would have happened. But I mean, that's a good point in terms of just you'd have to pay to install it and all that. And it's just a case where maybe one day, but hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I don't really know. I've never gotten in a debate with anybody about it or anything like that, like why or asked why not.
Yeah, why it hasn't happened, yeah.
But, especially when you get some of those games where, the team is flat out stalling,
Yeah,
man,
the old four corners.
Really bad. I mean, I would, if it was a big game, I would do it,
Sure.
It doesn't mean I like it, but, if I was playing like a 1 seed and I was coming in, it was something important, a district game, you bet I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Well, and isn't that the premise of the famous movie Hoosiers? They basically run, they're playing that team that they're totally underdogs against, and they come out and they basically stall for.
Well, no, they would execute their offense.
They'd run the offense.
Jimmy, whatever.
But
I don't remember what Jimmy's name was.
Yeah,
they get that ball to Jimmy,
Right. Yeah.
And
it's kind of similar to that a little bit, but yeah, it's see, when did the 3-point line come? I mean, the 3-point line didn't come in until the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For NBA even.
Yeah.
And was high school the last to adopt the 3-point line?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that didn't come in until the early to mid 90s. And I think a lot of people forget that the 3-point line hasn't really been around, and it's totally changed the game. And of course, now in the modern era, everybody wants the Steph Curry guard and then the big 6'10", 6'11" guy that can shoot the three. And it's just been interesting to see how it's trickled down, to each level. And now the three-point shot is considered the higher percentage shot.
It's been very odd, considering when I started coaching, the way the game has just completely changed.
Yeah.
It really has. Threes were something that, okay, in practice you have to make X amount out of 10 or you don't get to shoot them in a game. It's that simple, and it's turned into, all 4 or 5 guys being able to step out and shoot the basketball and really, less screens, less backdoor screens, more of a pass and cut, more of a inside out, but it's been very, very strange to watch that happen.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I'd be curious to see if it ever flips back, or if it just kind of continues on, kind of like with football, how the spread offense is now the thing, and everybody wants the 5 wide receivers and the down the field passing attack.
Yeah.
It's kind of the basketball version of that. And it's just funny to me how back in Wilt Chamberlain and those guys' day, they were scoring. I think of course Wilt still has the single game record for 100 points, but the game to me now is so much harder because you have to actually shoot a jump shot. I mean, back then it was based on height. I mean, you had Wilt and those. I mean, those guys were good. Don't get me wrong; they were really good. But Bill Russell and those guys, it was just strictly a hook shot, right at the basket type of a game.
Yeah.
And now you got to develop a jump shot. You got to have a three, even though the jump shot isn't as common now either. But to me, it's always been more impressive with with guys like LeBron and those guys in the top 5 in scoring. Michael, it was harder for them because they had to shoot the basketball more from the outside as opposed to those bigger guys that put in, just tons of points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it hadn't been that long ago. Will, funny you mentioned him. I was talking about this the other day. I was like, kids, has your coach ever told you to go to the top of the key? Like, yeah. I was like, well, why do you call it a key? They didn't know.
They didn't know.
Well, the lane was super skinny.
Yeah.
And it literally looked like a key. And then Wilt was so good, they had to widen the lane to get him out of there. And so that now it doesn't look like a key at all.
Yeah.
We still call it a key. But you had Wilt, Shaq not very long ago. But I even questioned today, where is the Hakeem Olajuwon of – you can't tell me these people aren't out there.
Of this era, yeah.
Yeah, but they just don't. It's almost like, well, Giannis is basically
is similar.
Similar, but he's coming off the dribble.
Right.
But he'll still go in and dunk, and, he's still good around the basket. But he just now has worked on his game where he can step out, and hit threes. But yeah, it's definitely changed.
It sure has. Yeah, and you wonder eventually if there is that style, that kind of a player that could come back, and you get another Giannis-type player, and even a Barkley type. Those guys are not as common, I think, as they used to be, and a Rodman type guy. Just a pure rebounder. Some of those guys have you don't see as many of them in the league as you used to at the upper level, but it just goes to show you that how many players there are out there. I mean, there's a lot of great players, and a lot of great players in college playing JUCO ball, and and that's where I'll be really curious to see where somebody like Shipley ends up. If she's able to go play somewhere D2, or if she ends up at NAI level. But
I think she's D2 good.
I think she could.
I think she's D2.
Maybe a bench player. She may not be the go-to player for a D2 type team, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But here's the deal about college. She's not going to get that kind of attention she does in a tournament. Like, she's not going to have three people clogging her. She'll be around other talented players, which is going to give her space to operate. So, it's really hard sometimes to figure out that next level. What are they going to do? Because, obviously boxing ones, help side constantly double her. Well, you do that in college.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. No, it's a totally different deal. And the thing is, a lot of times, kids, it's harder for them to adjust because it's a full-time deal once you get to the college level.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a year-round.
Yeah, and it is a job.
It is a job.
It's literally a job. And I remember like everybody's going out. I'm up at 5 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I don't get to live a college life like everybody else.
That's routine.
And that's part of it.
Yep.
You'd have workouts, and then we had our own study time that we had to go to, and we ate lunch together. It's just like it's a job, and I try to tell the high school kids from Clinton, okay, now you're moving that next step. Here's what it's good for me to talk to them. You think you're in shape, you are wrong. They are going to run you half to death for day one, and so you have to run all summer, because if you just show up, you have to do that. Got to take care of your body. Okay, make sure you're not getting out of shape, and before you show up, and then also you won't get to be a college student. That's something I'm just like, just make sure you know that.
Yeah.
You won't be normal.
Won't be a normal life. Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, even during the fall, we play the winter. Fall, we're working out, you know, and but.
Yeah, that's the adjustment, and that really, you know, builds in, do you really like basketball? You know, kids find out in a hurry. You know, it's one thing, but you really, really find out, and that's where those kids bump up to that next level, and you just can't get by on talent because you got 5, 6 other guys that are just as good, if not better, than you are.
Yep.
And you have to be able to adjust.
You know, that's tough because obviously when you go, you're the best player. You've been treated as the best player.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're – you know, little fish in a big pond. But it's always good to talk to, you know, those kids that can move on. I think, you know, Corbin Ball for Clinton, he might be one that could go to that next level. You know, maybe he's also a good soccer player. But, you know, obviously, you know, Mia will go on and probably play some college basketball, and I'll have that same talk with her
absolutely
is bring your, you know, it is a job. You got to love it or you get burnt out on it.
Absolutely.
Which she does. So, but I still got to give the speech, you know.
Sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. Kids, you know, it makes you wonder how many kids out there, there's got to be a bunch of them that just got burnt out. You know, they were talented, but they just hit that wall where I just don't want to do it. A lot of good players gave it up because of that, you know, that mentality, because you just have to – it's just a mental adjustment and a physical, as you said, all the way around. And you just have to be able to be motivated. And it's the other thing, the coaches – it's a dictatorship, as they say at the college level, you know, with the coaches. I mean, you know, they get to recruit who they want, and the kids who they want to play. You know, so it's a different deal in that regard as well. So it's definitely been a change.
There is no crying to mommy and daddy. You know, there is no.
That goes out the window.
That goes out the window.
Yeah, that goes out the window, no doubt. Well, we're about ready to go here. About a minute left in the halftime. As you see, Warrensburg, they're already out getting some shots up.
Might have to go get Grandview. I don't know what locker room they put them in.
Grandview's getting the long speech version, I guess, in their locker room. But
go get them. They'll
be out here in just a bit. But well, Brian, what's your thoughts in terms of the second half here? Keys for both teams here.
Well, like I said, anytime you know that Barry was touching the ball, something good happened.
Yeah.
Now here's the bad side: Downey's back. You know, and if you're Grandview Christian, you're like, you know, we got to set Downey the whole second quarter, which I really didn't think they were going to do, but they did. And so, you know, he's coming in the second half. He can be aggressive because he's only got 2. Okay, he doesn't have to worry about his fouls too much. Obviously, he doesn't want to pick up an early one in the third. Okay, so if you're Grandview, you know, you got to feel good if you're Grandview. You know, having him on the bench second quarter, still keeping a 6-point lead. And but that still doesn't mean if he's in there that you don't get the ball to Barry. You know, every time he touches it, something good has happened. So, but we'll see what Warrensburg does. You know, they can hit. They've been hitting some shots. Maybe, you know, hit a couple quick threes, third quarter, and put themselves right back in this ball game.
Should be interesting to see. And of course, earlier this afternoon, we've already had 3 in the books. Had the first one with Warrensburg, and of course, Lady Tigers defeated Clinton in the girls' third place. And then boys' third place went to Lakeland as they defeated Clinton. And then the girls' championship went to Nevada as they defeated Adrian. So we're about to have the boys champion here as we get ready to roll here in the second half. Warrensburg's going to start with the basketball. So they had a good first half, 11 up on the board for Allen. For Grandview, but balance scoring for Warrensburg as Baldwin led the way with 9 and 5 for Nappy. And we get a foul right out of the gate. And here comes Downey, as Brian mentioned, you're going to bring him right back off the bench. And so this is the stretch here. I think it'd be very important for Warrensburg with both Allen and Downey on the floor and how that affects Barry inside. Posting up, got a little mismatch there on Liz. And they go back door, and the kick for Baldwin. They reverse it back outside. Barry put the ball on the floor that time, one too many dribbles.
Landed on top of him.
And we get a foul against Barry.
Yeah, Dallas Allen, number 11. they called it on Barry.
Yeah, they actually.
I thought they called it on him for falling on top.
Well,
and
it looked, and he was, and Barry was thinking the same thing you were. He got up like, really, the foul's on me, but.
Yeah, he might have pulled him to the ground, but he sure did land on top of him.
Ooh, there Cheatham loses his footing and nearly lost the handle. I think Warrensburg, they did have a couple leads in the first half, but they were very slight leads and didn't last very long. Watkins' tough shot rattles out, and Cheatham unable to get the tip in. Pitzenbarger with the rebound. Tigers will set it up in the half court. Nappy, a little ball fake, and there's the walk. You see that all the time on that play, and there's just a lot of walks on that little shot fake where they try to, and that's where, isn't it, as a coach, you try to teach, come to a complete stop, and if you can, jab step, but they get in the habit of just sliding that foot and not realizing it, and they don't dribble, and it's just it's an automatic walk. I mean, officials are just always on that. Nappy, good play here at midcourt with the steal. Bucket good, and he's fouled. So Nappy overplayed a little bit on defense there, but it leads to the turnover, and, man, they were late to get back, and that foul is going to be number 2 inside on Hill, so that's his second. I think Nappy, this kid, he's going to find himself on the all-tournament team. He's impressed me. It'd be surprising if he wasn't, I think, as he missed that first one. Hasn't scored as much in this ball game, but as just a pretty solid defender for this Warrensburg team. He does have 7 in the game. Liz will be throwing it in for Grandveiw here. Eagles lead 29-25. So it's been a low-scoring game. I did kind of think it'd be a little higher scoring. Allen loses a handle, and Nappy with the steal. They got a 2-on-1. Nappy bucket good again, and he's fouled. Wow.
2 turnovers, 2 layups, 2 and ones.
He's asserting himself here.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. So 9 points for Nappy. 6'4" junior. Trying to get this back to a 1-point ball game, and he does. So 29-28. Tigers, this team isn't going to go away. I just don't think, Brian, that Grandview, they've got a high-powered offense, but you've held them to 29, and I don't know that they're able to pull away. This could be a fight to the end.
Yeah, the key to Warrensburg here, you just can't let Irving Liz go off. Number 5 coming around, asking for the basketball. He wants it. He knows that they're on a little bit of a run. Here it is. He wants to take the next shot. That's a hook.
Sure is.
Yep.
Good call. Offensive foul on Liz. And as you said, Brian, he was calling for that basketball, but he got way too aggressive.
Yeah, you take a good player. He's a senior. You know, he knows that Warrensburg coming back into this. He wants the ball in his hands. Don't be surprised next trip down. You know, he starts begging for it again. You know, he wants to stop this bleeding that's going on right now.
Baldwin in the back court. Good break there, middle of the floor. They get it inside. Pitzenbarger, no good. Rebound, Liz. Grandview going to push.
There he is.
There he is, right on schedule. Bucket and the foul for Liz. Baldwin just got number 2, so that'll make it 31-28. And did they count that, Brian, there? I think they did. Should be one shot here. 3-point play opportunity, and he's able to get it. So Liz will be in double figures now with 10. 32-28, the Grandview lead. There's a trap in the back court. They're able to break it. Oh, Barry just couldn't handle that, but it is tipped out by Liz. But I've been very impressed with Warrensburg. The press hadn't bothered him, you know. They haven't necessarily got Grandview out of it yet, but they're handling it. I mean, they're well coached.
That they are. I can only remember a couple times they've tipped the ball. You know,
yeah.
For the most part, they're. But the key is they're passing through it. They only, you know, if you're going to go to a 1-2, 1-1 press, dribbling is what gets you in trouble. You know, take a dribble, pass it. You know, pass through it.
Nappy. Here's Key back to Nappy, left corner. Lob into the post. Tough catch for Barry, and he gets it and scores it. And they do. I mean, they just have to feed him because, as you said, good things happen when he touches the basketball. Lead is 2. Extra pass, corner 3. No good for Roverson, but he gets his own miss. Out to Cheatham for 3. Back of the iron. Loose ball, Cheatham gets it back. So they get an extra possession. Downey, a little ball fake into the paint with the dribble. He's got smooth handles. And Liz, unable to finish. Thought he got hit, no call. And at the other end, a bucket for Pitzenbarger. So they run the floor perfectly. Had a little 2-on-1, and they convert, and we are tied, Brian Lewis, 32 apiece.
What we were hoping for.
That's right. So both championship games lived up to the billing here, and really tight heading into the late part of the third. Downey from way out there, way off, but Cheatham, a nice rebound. That was basically a pass in there.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew. He had it right where he wanted.
I can get it off the bottom left of the backboard.
Yeah, exactly. So timeout here. I think Warrensburg's going to take one. And this will be full. So 3:56 left in the third. I want to thank Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent here in Clinton, our timeout sponsor. And right now, the momentum up for grabs. And Grandview got off to that hot start to start the half, but Warrensburg buckled in. Got Barry some touches inside and playing some pretty good defense. They haven't let Grandview shoot the 3 ball that much in the game. I think they've only hit a couple threes.
You know, I think your Warrensburg scores in the 30s, late in the third. I mean, that's probably coming in. That's what you want, you know, have an explosive team like this and keeping them in check for the most part. Looks like we got a little defensive change here that Grandview went to more of a box list rather than their trapping diamond.
They'll break it here with the good pass up the floor. Barry.
Good ball movement.
There's that cut across. And Nappy, he's always moving. And Downey able to front there a couple times on Barry, but there's a steal. Cheatham read that perfectly. And he's fouled, and bucket just missed. Boy, lightning quick. That was one of those where he was actually behind the passing lane and then jumped into the lane there and got it. And he almost deked. Well, he really did deke Key there a little bit on that pass. And just showing really good quickness there. So at the line for 2. So Cheatham, quiet game for him, just 3 points, but that'll make it 35-32. So Cheatham with a pair, 3:30 left in the third. And there's an errant pass over the head of Key. They get another steal. Nappy comes up with it. Grandview gives it right back. Here's Baldwin. Floater, beautiful shot. Just the right amount of touch on that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Coming down that fast, you got a big kid waiting on you and just kind of float it over the top of him. And
36-34, Grandview. High screen, Cheatham gets fouled.
Yeah, he wasn't going to call it till it caused the walk, and then he was like, well, can't call the walk because there's a reason for it.
Right. Yeah, I was almost thinking walk initially there, but they get Nappy for his second. Both teams at 14 fouls apiece. 2:47 to go in the third. Allen sets the pick. A good hedge by Nappy. Takes that away. Cheatham on the attack. No. And tried to get it back. Barry, strong hands in there. Maintains possession. Boy, that's a strong rebound for Barry. And Baldwin will set it up. Downey in there trying to front. That's been a good matchup all day. And there's Baldwin, that little floater again, in and out. Barry back up, got it.
You know, it only says 8 points on the scoreboard, but Barry, he is Warrensburg right now. You know, I know some of the other ones hitting floaters, hitting threes, but, you know, any time, and we've said it, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but any time he touches it, something good happens.
And there's Liz. He gets an opening. Lead is 2. Warrensburg, they'll push. Nappy, bucket, and he's fouled. And that's 3 on Downey. So he got behind the defense, and they threw him a good pass, really good open floor pass. I think that was Baldwin that hit him, and Nappy with a strong finish. So he's in double figures with 12. And this will be interesting, Brian, to see what they want to do now. What do you think with Downey in the 3 foul? Yep, looks like he's going to his bench.
Really, if you're his coach, depends on who it is. You know, he is a senior, but some of them can handle it, you know, play smart with 3. Some of them, you know better. You better get them out of there.
Yep, he elects to bring him on out. So we'll see how his minutes are limited, but you would imagine that they would be substantially limited here. But you may have to wait till maybe mid-4th, somewhere in there, to bring him back. Really, really tight ball game, low scoring, but it's been a good one. 38-39, Warrensburg leading by 1. This is for the boys' championship. And, of course, since the boys' tournament was a round-robin format, we didn't have any seeding like you would typically of an 8-team field. Here's Liz for 3, way off. And we get a foul underneath. And Allen's like, I don't know that I did foul there, but they got him for number 2, so he's going to have to be a little careful because Grandveiw can't afford to have him in foul trouble along with Downey. Baldwin for Nappy. He's going to back down Allen on the block, and that's just trying to do a little too much there, but able to get it out to Nimmo. They reset back in. Nappy, bucket, no. Allen the rebound. They got numbers. Liz. Oh, boy, I thought that was going out, but he gets the roll. Grandview by 1, 40-39. What a ball game as we come to the end of the third quarter. Plenty of time here for Cheatham. Boy, he's lurking there. Almost had another steal, but a great move by Baldwin. Brooks Baldwin, the 5'10 junior, he's got 6. Warrensburg back up 1. Lead changing hands here at the end of the third. 6 seconds to go. Roverson no good on the 3. Barry, nice rebound. Nappy from beyond midcourt. Oh, he almost banked that in. Wow. Well, we got a good one. 41-40.
This goes in overtime. We'll never make it.
Final 8 minutes.
It's going to be.
I just heard
championship.
This was good enough. I'm going to send a text a couple people and tell them to tune in.
Yeah.
The guys, I know some of my friends that love good basketball.
No question. Yeah.
Like this is back and forth.
This is up and down,
well, as good as it gets.
Well played, and 2 disciplined teams, and it's been quite the battle thus far. And either team has had, I don't think, a double-digit lead in this one at all. So it's been that kind of a game. And
well, I was going to ask you earlier. Might as well now. Any Super Bowl plans?
Well, I think I will be somewhere. I will be watching the game. I know that. So somewhere.
Oh man, I only know what it's going to be like watching a Super Bowl where you actually care about the outcome.
That's exactly right. 50 years, right?
Yeah.
Since you've, I'm obviously a guy that watches the Super Bowl no matter who's playing, but certainly with the Chiefs playing, it's going to be a special day. And I know this week, of course, you're also a teacher here at Clinton, so you guys had Chief Spirit Week this week. So did you had to wear that jersey, didn't you? The Mahomes jersey and all. Everybody had the jersey.
Chief sweatshirt on.
There you go. There you go.
It was nice to see the little elementary kids too. I was getting pictures from over there. They ate it up.
Oh, I bet they did.
Gosh, yeah.
Well, and me and James were talking. The jersey sales, you can imagine, at Walmart and everywhere, they're probably pretty low with all the Chiefs apparel that was bought this week.
Oh my.
And before that, of course. So here we go to the fourth quarter. 1-point ball game, 41-40, and Grandview is going to go ahead and start the quarter, and this is kind of interesting with Downey on the floor with the 3 fouls, along with Allen out there, so he got them both out there. Good pass into Cheatham as he got the cut there and scores it. 42-41, Grandview by 1. Key right side. But Warrensburg has not had a lot of looks from the outside. They try to go in there to Barry, and it's stolen. So Cheatham read that one. And he's had a couple big steals here in the second half for Grandview. Downey left side. Well, he thought about it. There's a jab, and they'll take it, but missed it. Settled there a little bit.
Yeah, if I'm Grandview, I'm not too happy with that one.
Me neither. That was definitely a forced shot there. I mean, he has the ability. He'll knock a couple of those down, but that was not the time for it.
You know, I like him out there, to tell you the truth,
sure,
because it pulls Barry out there.
Absolutely.
But I'm not real sure I like him shooting it out there.
Yeah, not at that point. And here's a nice stick back by Pitzenbarger. Boy, we are just swinging back and forth. I mean, this is about as many one-point lead changes as you could have in a ball game. 43-42. 1-point advantage for Warrensburg. Here's Allen. Roverson, little jab step, goes baseline. Watkins, nice play there. Man, off the dribble drive. Tough to stop. 44-43. And here's a foul at the other end. Pitzenbarger gets hit. Good sportsmanship there, helping him up. But this has been just a good, solid, well-played game. You know, the defense has been aggressive, but yet we haven't had a lot of fouls, you know, and that's really critical in close games. You're able to slide your feet, get in front.
You know, I know we've seen some turnovers here, but it hadn't been sloppy.
No, hasn't been sloppy at all. Yeah, the flow has stayed, you know, pretty consistent. As Cheatham's going to come out here, Liz will return for Grandview, and we're going to have another free throw here trying to break this tie. Pitzenbarger, he's a 6'1 junior, shooting another, and that one goes. So the rim was kind, got the roll, timeout Tigers. So 5:49 to go in this one, and we are all tied at 44. Don't forget, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Aaron Collins has all your insurance needs here locally in Clinton, so check him out. Is our timeout sponsor. And bonus, looks like we have a bonus right now, that of course being Warrensburg.
Curious about the timeout and adjustment that they're making right now over at Warrensburg. They're doing something different. You know, he didn't call that for no reason. He's got his board out. Who knows? Across
the board, pretty balanced scoring in this one thus far, really for both sides. They've got 13 up there for Nappy, most of those here in the second half. Pitzenbarger has 15, 8 for Barry, and 6 thus far for Baldwin. Grandview has 7 from Watkins, 11 for Allen, and 14 for Liz. So Liz leading them offensively in this one. And they'll hurry down. Official did put the ball down, so got to be careful. Don't want to get a delay of game if you're Grandview. So 5:40 to go, 1-point ball game.
You know, this is the point of the game, though. Like, you know, Liz has got it. He's got to take over. He's been very patient, very unselfish. It's time for him to get selfish.
Here's Watkins. Allen fakes right, goes left into the lane. Tough shot and gets it to go. So there's that great length that he has, the ability to put the ball on the floor. Backup one is Grandview. Here's Baldwin. That floater has gone a couple times, but not there. And there's a great rebound for Allen. Pounds the ball. And there's Liz, as you said, Brian. There he is.
It's about that time, 5 minutes
about that
left.
Time, yeah.
He's been making extra passes, which he should. because that's the better of the plays. But sometimes
you got to know when to take
you
over.
just got to know when to take over.
That's exactly right. That killer instinct. And Baldwin will wait on the screen here. Going to opt not to use it. Dishes off for Pitzenbarger. And there's a nice take and a foul on Allen. So that'll be his third, I believe. Boy, Baldwin snuck in there and a little wraparound, or actually that was Pitzenbarger rather. Great pass to him, but man, oh man, he got into the teeth of the defense.
6'1", going against 6'7", and he didn't even hesitate.
Not at all. So that's actually 4 on Allen, and that is a big one. Missed the free throw. Barry, though, had a shot at the rebound, but he's unable to hang on. So now what do you do if you're Grandview? Looks like they're going to go ahead and bring him off with the 4. Roverson back in.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, obviously you got to set him, but
yeah,
he's got to be back in there in a minute and a half, 2 at the most.
So Liz will bring this ball up. They move Watkins to the wing, and he'll take a 3. It rattles out. Well, that was halfway down. Rebound to Barry. Here come the Tigers. Down 1 for the lead. Key no on the 3. And Roverson with the rebound. And now Watkins back at the point guard duties. Calls out the play. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the ball game here in the boys' final at the Clinton tournament. It's been a battle all day. Inside, Roverson, a little shot fake, and gets it to go. And the lead is 50-47 for the Eagles. Baldwin up the floor.
Let's see if Warrensburg can't get a post touch here.
There it is. Barry, a little shot fake. Got it. Perfect pass to him. Like taking candy from a baby.
I tell you what.
I mean, you got to get him the basketball. And there's been several times we've seen he has had position and they haven't got it to him. So 50-49, 1-point ball game here. Grandview with the slight lead. See if Liz gets a shot. It's going to kick. Downey will take the 3. And it bounces out. Pitzenbarger the board. Coming up on 3 minutes to go.
And tell you the truth, if you're Warrensburg, you might just start backing off of him. He might shoot them right out of the ball game.
And here comes Allen. He's going to go ahead and bring him back. As you said, Brian, right around probably a minute here, depending on when we get a stoppage. The next dead ball. 2:40 to go. 1-point game. Looked for Barry and forced that one. Yeah, too low.
It was a right pass, but the wrong execution.
And here's a foul. Roverson will draw the foul. And Baldwin will pick up number 4. So big free throws coming up here for Roverson with 2:31 left. Two-point Grandview lead. And Allen will return with 4 fouls at the 2:31 mark. And Key will come back for Warrensburg for Nimmo. And that one good as well. So 2 big ones for Roverson. And Grandview will take a timeout here with 2:31 left in the ball game.
If it's not my team playing, usually the last thing I want to see is an overtime. I would like to see an
like
overtime.
to see a little more. Yeah, no doubt.
I want to see some more.
Yeah, this is one of those games that you definitely would, for sure. And both these teams playing really, really hard. Of course, Warrensburg has been more battle-tested. They had a close game that they had to battle through in their first-round game. Grandview's rolled in their first 2. So now they're in a close game. See which side, that plays out for. I don't know that it's a huge factor, but it does at least let you know that Warrensburg kind of, they're used to slowing it down and playing in low-scoring close games. So if you look at it that way, I guess you could say it does favor them maybe a little bit. But
maybe Coach Nemo here just might be saying, hey, next possession, let's put it on the refs. Whoever Dallas Allen's guarding, give it to them, take it at him, put the ball up on his nose, get him out of here, because that would make a huge difference for the last 2:30 if he's sitting watching.
So here we go. Warrensburg out of the timeout. We'll have it. They'll have to get it full length. 2:31 to go. Trailing 52-49. A lot of lead changes, though, in the second half. Neither team's led by more than 10 in this game. Baldwin right side. High post Nappy. Turns faces.
A little high-low.
There's Barry on the block. They double team him. And Nappy, gives it right back to him. That was beautiful. Just as the double team slipped off of him, he gives it back to him, and I think they counted that basket, Brian, and also a foul.
Hit him in the side of the head.
Yeah. Boy, that's a smart play by Nappy. Man, oh, man. Because as soon as he kicks it out of the double team, those two guys went with Nappy, and he's like, boom, I'll give it right back. I mean, it's just perfect, perfect basketball. And the three-point play for Barry, and we're tied at 52. James Hinkle, we've already called overtime on this one. Oh, geez. So me and James were joking because James, I think, earlier in the week had said, hey, this game might go overtime, and it did. That was the Odessa girls game, so he said we jinxed or he jinxed us, I guess, in that one. But here we would definitely like to see overtime. It's been that good. So Downey, Watkins into the paint. Little teardrop is good. Boy, Watkins, he's had a couple big buckets off the dribble.
Yes, he has.
And the lead is back to 2. Coming up on 1:20 left. And a nice play by Downey. Got to the front side of Barry and knocked that one out. And do you feel like they're forcing it maybe a little bit right now to Barry, or do you think,
it's there, the passing.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
like
got positions a little
it
late.
Was obvious
yeah.
He was coming around the front. You got to, fake a pass there. When he does come around the front, you can probably throw it over the top.
The top, yeah.
It's just player decisions. They just got to execute it better.
And Nappy shot no good. Had a decent look. And Liz with a big rebound. Coming up on a minute to go. Oh, and Liz loses the ball. Oh, man. And coach over there on the bench upset for Grandveiw. He knew that you could have used a little clock right there. So Warrensburg gets a big stop. And here we go. 54-52. Under a minute left. Barry had it tipped, got it back.
Good
Baldwin,
corner.
No on the 3. Pitzenbarger is fouled. And Liz not a happy customer at all.
Liz got all ball.
He would agree with you.
Yeah, Liz got all ball. He was fouled from behind.
Yeah, I think Liz may – see, they actually did not get that foul on him, did they? They put 21 up on the board. Yeah, so they must have got Watkins from behind, like you said, with his 4th. And Pitzenbarger hits the first free throw. So 51 seconds to go, 54-53. And we are tied again. 54 apiece. And timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor. Wow, what a play there, Brian. I mean, man, you stay with what's worked. You're going inside that shot there, and you make them converge. And you're going to get them to leave their feet, and you let them foul you.
You bet.
And free throws here, you're just right in there with knock your free throws
down.
down.
Here's the thing, too, if it does go into overtime, I mean, Grandview Christian's in such foul trouble.
Absolutely.
That you could pull out a win.
Absolutely.
Just by extending the game, because there's,
What do we got? 2 guys with 4.
Yeah.
For Grandview, and of course.
And they're,
one of them's Allen and one of them's
Hill.
Downey.
No,
yeah,
wait.
Hill's got 4. I guess Allen may have 3.
Oh, wait.
Downey's got 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have Allen for 3. Of course, he's out there right now. They just don't have him up on the board right now for some reason. So Allen will throw it in. Grandview with the ball, under a minute, about 50 seconds left. So what do you think here? Do you go for the
one?
You're going to hold for.
He's going to hold for 1.
Go ahead and hold for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to go ahead here and milk this clock down, 34 seconds and counting, and he's just standing. Warrensburg urging their fans on.
That's hard to do, though. You always want the ball in your hands to
It
try to
is,
win.
yeah.
I don't know if you could turn them over, but
Timeout, Grandview. Yeah, so you just you go for the 2 here and go for the win. And they'll get to inbound it, I believe, far boundary. So they'll have it in the front court to throw it in. So we'll see what kind of a defensive alignment Coach Nimmo goes with here.
it'll be interesting to see if who he wants to give the ball to. Win it for Grandview Christian.
Yep.
If it's me personally, you know where I'm going with it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's Irving Liz, number 5.
Yep.
Doesn't mean he has to make it. And then have maybe Dallas Allen on the opposite side, where the only person that could help is his guy, and he'd give it to him for the win. So, but who knows what we got here?
18.9, so a decent amount of time. You don't have to rush. You're going to get the ball. You get to throw it in the front court. So here's where Grandview's got to understand. You got, not an eternity, but you've got enough time to set something up. You should not, there should not be an excuse for a forced shot in this situation.
The other thing too is when they're ready to go, I would foul them.
Yeah.
You only got 5.
Right.
And they're getting ready to execute whatever they're ready to execute, and you just screwed it all up for them. Then they got to inbounds it again and try something different.
So Downey and Allen both on the floor. Liz will get the ball off the inbounds. Coming down to the final possession, folks, here in regulation, 11 seconds. Tied at 54. Liz left wing, going to give it up to Downey inside. Roverson back out. Downey for 3 in the win. Got it!
Got it.
He got it. The big fella, he'd missed a couple threes in this fourth quarter, but he sticks it there.
He has missed threes.
Whoa.
Irving Liz, number 5, is standing wide open in the corner. If he would have missed that, and he didn't.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, that's a long bus ride home.
Oh, my gosh. Was it ever?
But he made it.
He made it, and we still have 3.8 on the clock. So Warrensburg still with some life. It's not the door is not completely closed just yet. But
not at all.
What a shot. What a kick out.
There's all kinds of options he's going through right now.
Yep.
You can do the old school play where you got somebody flashing towards the ball towards half court. You throw it to them. You got somebody flying down the side. Throw it to them for the tie. All kinds of stuff. But
no doubt.
4 seconds, I figured out a long time. It is. You can do so many things with 4 seconds.
Full length. They will have to bring it across. But Downey out there knocking one down potentially to win this game for Grandview. And Downey in the ball game. He's had to play through foul trouble in this contest, but huge shot. But does Warrensburg have?
Yeah, they're probably looks like they may throw it straight up in the air to Barry and have somebody work off of him for a 3-pointer.
You got a stack down here. They may try the old.
I think they're going up in the air to Barry here, and the 2 3-point shooters.
It may
opposite of him.
Yep, it may be a kind of a Christian Leitner style pass. There it is.
There it
Baseball pass. Christian Leitner.
There it is.
Oh, Barry should have shot it, but
There
he gives
it
it to
is.
Baldwin for 3. No, it bounces out, but did we get a whistle? I heard a whistle. Are they going to call a foul here?
Oh, my.
Oh, my. So he is fouled. And he's fouled in the act of shooting, and, of course, that was team foul 5.
Well, no, they're going to line up 3.
Yeah, so that's a foul on the shot. Grandview had fouls to give, so it's obviously not bonus. Unbelievable.
No, it was on the shot.
Yeah, on the shot with 0.5 left, and the first one is good for Baldwin. Unbelievable. Oh, I mean, Brian, I can't believe Barry didn't shoot that because it was a perfect pass by Knapp.
But it wasn't drawn up that way.
Right, he was designed to kick.
Drawn up,
yeah.
Throw it to you. 2 guards go to the wing off of him.
And he kicked it perfectly. And who did they get that? Oh, they got that foul on Liz, and he's got to be beside himself right now. Second one is good. Third one to tie it. It's good. He gets the roll.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh.
Tied at 57. And now, I think it's safe to say, James Hinkle, we have overtime.
No, there's a half a second left.
A half a second. Well, we're about to see. Will we see more heroics here, Brian Lewis? I mean, is that not one of the crazier finishes you'll see?
You know, I was watching the ball,
golly.
so I can't wait to go back and rewatch this game because I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, and I did not see in terms of just was it a clear foul or I mean I know Baldwin was falling away. You know, Barry caught that ball. Barry left his feet to catch that pass. That was the first impressive thing, and then really all in one motion, caught it, kicked it. You know, and they blew the whistle. And I know you as a coach sometimes see this. Some officials, there's two approaches. Some don't call anything at the end of the game. They
determine the game, but if he hit him, then it determines him missing it.
Got to be called. Exactly. Yeah, got to be called. Sometimes they'll just let him play and they kind of swallow their whistle. But yeah, I'm like you. I'd be very curious to go back and watch that again. So a foul on a 3-point shot with 0.5 to go.
Yeah, the only chance you got here is an alley-oop at the other end. If you got somebody can throw it that far.
Baldwin,
because you can't catch, turn, and shoot in .5.
Baldwin hits all 3 free throws to tie it. That comes right after Downey knocked down a 3 that gave Grandview the lead. Baseball pass is stolen by Nappy, and we're going to OT. Overtime in the Clinton boys championship game, and what a game it has been. 57 all, about as crazy of a finish as you could have possibly had there a moment ago. And now here's where if you're Grandview, you've just been hit in the mouth. I mean, you thought you had this game won, and now you've got to come back here in overtime. And as you mentioned, very good point earlier, the foul situation, and that favors Warrensburg.
Oh, definitely.
Big time going into this overtime.
Yeah, I mean, Warrensburg, they could just stay offensively aggressive because you got to think he's going to be telling them, hey, make sure you go straight up. Well, that also makes you a bad defender. To tell you the truth, I know because a lot of times you get to where you just let them go because you don't want to pick up your fifth, and then they just go in for layups. And that was one of the crazier ends of a ball game I've seen in a while.
Unbelievable. But yeah, if I'm Warrensburg, I'm going right at Allen and Downey. I mean, you basically drive it and try to get them out of the ball game, and that certainly gives you, that opens all kinds of stuff up with Barry in the post. Then down there, he'd have a big advantage with one of them out of the game. Who do you put on him?
Yeah,
right.
If he turned,
Yeah, and Grandview's got, they got 7 guys. They don't have a deep bench at all.
Because if Downey just pulls like an up and under, jumps into one of them, I mean, bench and then do it to the other one, and you pretty much just won the game right there.
So here we go. An extra 4 minutes, overtime, tied at 57. See if we can get the clean tip. There we go. Had 2 tips to start the game, and Warrensburg controls it. High post, Nappy. Baseline dribble drive, nothing there. Back to Nappy in the corner. Pitzenbarger, he's had a good ball game. Nappy back out there left side. Reset a little bit. Pitzenbarger works to the left wing with the dribble. Allen forcing him to his left. Baldwin. Good defensive possession here for Grandview, making him move that ball around. Nothing open from the outside. Nappy. Barry on the block.
Up and under.
Up and under.
Oh, nope. He tried
Lean.
to.
Might have walked a couple times there, but no call. Missed the shot. Pitzenbarger is fouled on the putback. Wow.
Yeah, he pulled that up and under. I think if he would have left his feet, he might have got the call on the first one because he was able to get
Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allen fouled out right there. So his night is done. He had a great ball game, but he is the first one to foul out in this one, and Pitzenbarger hits the free throw. So now, if you're Grandview, you've got to find a way to keep Downey on the floor. at this point. And as you said, Liz has got to be the guy.
He's got to take over now.
He's got to take over. Yep.
That's a game changer with him on the bench. I mean.
So Liz will set it up. 59-57 Warrensburg here in overtime. Downey looking to drive, and it goes off the hands, out of bounds. Off the hands of Roverson. Baldwin's pass, sailed it, and out of bounds. They're going to say Key was out. So Warrensburg going to give it right back, and that one not going to make Coach Nimmo happy at all. And they done a really good job passing the ball against this full court pressure most of the game. That was really the first time they had thrown one away. So 2:38 left here in OT. Liz to Downey. Between the wheels with the dribble. Pass tip, Nappy with a steal. Huge play. And then out to Baldwin. He'll bring it back out. Boy, that could be the play of overtime right there, that steal, if Warrensburg hangs on. Nappy inside, Barry on the block, up and in, and he's fouled. Downey thought he was straight up, but they call the foul. And is that 5? It is. Yep, and that may do it, folks.
That might do it
right
there.
That might do it. Both the 6'7" guys have fouled out here in overtime. So Barry, who has 13 points in the ball game, to the line looking for the 3-point play. So very, very tough. And I mean, Grandview's got nobody left on their bench now. They've got 5 guys. That's it. So the free throw good. 62-57. Timeout Grandview. 2:05 to go in overtime. And man, this Warrensburg team, Brian, I mean, they fought and battled and clawed, and you know, if you're Grandview, you're just almost shell shocked. I mean, you had the game won.
I don't think they can recover from it.
Yeah, you had the game won.
And that is a nightmare scenario where both of your 6'7" guys, both your centers, are setting with 4.
Yep.
You can't go into an overtime, you know, and then
yep.
You've got bigger problems if number 21 Hill gets another foul. You're playing with 4.
4 guys. Yeah. And what is the rule in high school basketball? Do they let you play with 4, but after you get past 4, you've got to forfeit?
Yeah. You can't play with 3.
You can't play with 3. That's what I thought. Yeah. I didn't know. I knew they could let you play with 4, but. Of course, in an overtime situation, I mean, that'd be a bad deal, wouldn't it? Gosh.
I don't know what kind of defense you drop in that scenario.
Yeah, say, hey, what do we do there? Because that'd be very tough. Well, we've seen a lot in this game, a lot of crazy stuff. And is there more left in store? Does Grandview have enough moxie here in the final 2 minutes with both of their big guys out in what has been a crazy game? Grandview thought they had it wrapped up. Downey hit a 3. But then Warrensburg comes down. They get a baseball pass, and then Baldwin was fouled on a 3. That sent us to overtime. Watkins for 3, and he got it. That cuts it to 2.
You know, you could play solid defense here if you're Grandview. You know, minute 30, that's plenty of time. Just play your normal solid D.
Here's Baldwin. Nappy. Good pass, high-low look to Pitzenbarger, and he'll score it for 2. 4-point lead coming up on a minute to go in overtime. Good use of the left hand there by Liz, but he couldn't finish it. And the rebound to Pitzenbarger. And now we'll see if Grandview wants to go ahead and try and foul. They got a 2-on-2. And they're going to say that was knocked out by Roverson. But I guess the flip side of that is your double bonus if you're Warrensburg.
Yeah, that's you know.
So you don't have fouls to give, but you know you're just in a tough spot if you're Grandview.
Yeah. Yep.
And your double bonus plus you don't want anybody else to foul out. You don't want to get to 4. And 50.5 left on the clock. Yeah, timeout Warrensburg as they had him trapped in the corner. Yeah, you look up there, and Hill has 4. 3 for Liz. And then you've got 2 on Cheatham, 2 on Roberson. So, you know, I guess you could foul with one of those guys that had.
Yeah, everybody's all right except for Hill.
Yeah, you know, you could do that, but you know, if it's a 2-shot situation, either way, it's a tough call, really. Down by 4, so 2-possession game, and so right now Warrensburg, all the cards kind of in their favor from here on out.
Yeah, you know, Grandview here, they can go for 1 trap and steal, you know, and then after if they do get it out of there, you're gonna have to foul somebody.
You get a 3, you know, you come down, hit a 3.
Yeah.
If you can keep it a 4-point game.
I mean,
and lots can happen. I mean, lots can happen.
Now they only have the 1 timeout. That's a problem.
Yeah, that definitely could be a problem with 49 points or 47.9. You definitely need.
You get a quick 2 and quick 2 and a timeout, and still more game to be played.
So they'll get to throw it in here in the front court. Nappy for Baldwin. Looks like they're going to go straight up, man.
There's the trap.
There's the trap, and
a
foul. Oh, a quick foul. Yeah, I don't know about that. That was a little anticipation, I think, by the topside ref on that.
I think he thought they were trying to foul.
Right.
And he was just going to go ahead and do it for him, but I don't think he touched him.
Yeah, I don't either. So that is number 4 on Liz, and if they lose him, they're down
Liz
to 4.
Be careful. He's breaking the rules right now. You cannot be below the free throw line during a free throw.
Oh, really? Wow. So would
now
that
he
be
moved back up.
Would that be another foul if they caught him on that?
Get another shot.
Or another shot, yeah. So that's 2 for Baldwin, big 2 there, 6-point game, and again another guy fouls out, and Grandview's down to 4 guys. Here's Cheatham for 3, and he hits it from way outside. 34 seconds to go.
Get a trap.
There's the trap.
There's
the Cheatham was out of bounds, but they didn't catch that.
He missed it.
And then he misses the shot. Well, I thought Cheatham stepped on the boundary there as he got that rebound, and Watkins missed the chippy. He misses the chippy that would have cut it to 2. And we just had number 5 on Liz. Oh, my gosh. So now Grandview is down to 4. I thought they got Watkins on that.
Yeah.
Wow. Tough. That's a tough break. You know, and you go back to that previous foul. You know, those are 2 tough fouls on Liz there. And I think, I think they were double checking, but they're going to go ahead and say that was the case.
Gosh, can you imagine? You make that layup.
Wow.
You're down 2. He's still got timeout left.
Exactly.
Call the timeout.
Absolutely. I know.
Completely different ending.
I know it. What a situation. So Grandview has 4 guys on the floor. Final 26 seconds. As they've had 3 guys foul out here in overtime. 3 misses. Cheatham put back. Got it.
Call it.
There's your timeout, so that'll stop the clock with 15.3, 68-65. It's a 1-possession game, Brian Lewis. So here it is. Gosh, can you imagine if they still had, you know, even Liz on the floor? I mean, my gosh. But, man, what a 3 that was a moment ago. Cheatham showing the range, and then they almost had a quick 2, so we could almost be tied. You know, had you counted that previous 2, then they get the 2 there. So it honestly could be 68-68 all right now. But, you know, this one of those games, Brian, you just hate to see a loser. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's been such a good game. You know, Grandview Christian have, you know, go all the way back with, you know, being up 3 point, well, not the play before the 0.5, but, you know, being up 3 in that catch and shoot and foul and 3 free throws and hand it to him. I mean, a high school kid stepping up in a situation, making 3 free throws in a row.
Unbelievable. So here we go, 15.3. They commit the foul. Roberson is all right. That's just his second. here's where you better make sure a guy that's got 1 or 2 fouls is committing the foul. They do have another guy that has 4. Of course, that's Hill. So you don't want to lose him. You at least want to stay with 4 if you can help it. So Pitzenbarger hits the first. 69-65. Warrensburg's done a good job at the line here in overtime. And that's really kept them in front because, I mean, Grandview, they've still stayed in it. They've hit some big shots over the back on Barry.
Yeah, they have a foul to give, though, so.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt them.
Doesn't hurt him too much. And that ought to do it because he can't. He's out of timeouts. You know, even if they did hit a 3, you could just let the ball bounce around. You don't have to do anything.
2-possession game with 14 seconds to go. So got to have a quick one here, but it, as Brian said, it is pretty much in the bag. Cheatham, and there's a foul on a 3. Oh my gosh. So Roverson, and he's just heaving that. I mean, that's just not, you know, and it's like Warrensburg. I mean, Coach Nimmo is growing some more gray hair. I mean, that's like, what are we doing, guys? Let him take the shot. So Roverson will shoot 3 free throws. So he can get this to a 1-point game.
Clock stopped. There's no way they could have stopped it. All you had to do is not foul.
Exactly.
Could you imagine a steal and a putback for a tie or go ahead here?
Oh, my gosh. Roverson hits the second. So he can get this to 1. 3.4 to go. Grandview will have to commit this foul right off the bat here.
You know, they can match up. I mean, they don't have the 5th guy guarding the ball, but the other 4 are, you know, they're 4-on-4.
And he misses the 3rd, and there's the foul. Oh, man, just bounced out of there. Just bounced out. And that is 3 on Cheatham. So 2.9. I don't know that we can call it just yet.
No,
I mean,
can't
he's
call
free.
Yet.
Yeah, can't call it still.
Unless he makes both of them, and that's ball game. But if he misses one of these,
if you're Warrensburg, this is who you want shooting him. Nappy, good free throw shooter, but he misses the first. So I jinxed him. I didn't intend to. I was just
out that rebound. You know, you can kick ahead, or you can get you can get 2 or 3 dribbles and get a shot up. See if you can't get a miracle to bank in from half court.
Yeah, 2.9 is plenty of time for beyond half court.
Especially the way this game, I wouldn't even be shocked the way this game is
went.
Oh,
not at all. As Nappy missed it. Couple drip. Oh, they call the walk.
He did.
Wow.
He did.
Wow. Roverson called for the travel, and that should do it. And one of the craziest games you could possibly have. I'd say one of the best games in this gym that's ever been played. As they get it in, they will foul. So Watkins is fouled out.
Well, I guess you can play with 3, not 2.
Yeah.
I was thinking that after I said
we're
it.
testing the rules here.
Yeah. I was like, I think it's 2.
So they have 3 guys out there now, but it is pretty much over with 0.4 to go. Free throw good for Key. Man, again, you just hate to see a loser. I mean, this was one of those games that both these teams gutted it out, and Grandview's got to be sick because they had the game won in regulation after Downey hit that 3. But they are going to fall. Buzzer sounds, and that'll do it. What a ball game, 71-67. The final score, Warrensburg will win it in a thriller in overtime. Grandview has 3 guys fouled out. They came here with 7, so they finished the game with 3 players. But both these teams fought to the bitter end. Some crazy plays, some big-time shots. This was a battle all the way through, Brian Lewis. Neither team led by more than 10, I think, the entire game. I mean, just one of those great games. Wasn't high scoring, but you couldn't have asked for a better ball game.
Oh, not at all. I mean, I'd hate to try to count how many ball games I've seen, and this is up there somewhere.
Absolutely. So They will go ahead and present the trophies here. Get a shot there from James Hinkle down on the floor. But well-deserved second place for Grandview, and Warrensburg will claim the first place trophy this year on the boys' side of the bracket. As Jason Abner makes the presentation, and they earned that, no doubt. They earned it. And we'll get the all-tournament team here in just a moment. Rafe Carballo. Of course, another big game for him today. He'll come out and get his award. Downey from Grandview. Irving Liz as well from Grandview. Pitzenbarger from Warrensburg. Big game today for him. He had 17. And there's Nappy. I was very impressed with him all tournament long. So well-deserved player there for sure. Dallas Allen, who fouled out in this one, of course, for Grandview, and they had 3 of them, but he had a huge game with 19, and Barry had a big game today inside for Warrensburg with 14. Corbin Ball. Corbin going to come on out. And Ian Esri from El Dorado Springs, I think. We heard that name. So well-deserved. And, boy, you just could not have had a more picture-perfect game to close out what's been just an unbelievable tournament, Brian.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, if you're, I'm kind of partial because we're putting this on, but,
sure,
you know, when you have tournaments like people want to come back.
Oh, no question.
Warrensburg, Grandview, you know, you want to come back to this kind of excitement and these kind of ball games and, you know, championship game. This is one for the books. No doubt.
Yeah, I'd have to say, of course, you've seen more games in this gym than I have, but, I mean, this got to be one of an all-timer, I mean, in this building, and certainly an all-timer for the Clinton tournament.
Well, you got to think, I forget who got fouled and made the 3.
Baldwin, there at the end. Made the 3 free throws to tie it.
He's going to tell his grandchildren about that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, hey, this one time, you know, we were down, and and
you got to give. And Nappy is the one that made that pass.
Yeah.
He could not have thrown, and we were all saying it's going to be Christian Leitner type pass, and he hit Barry perfectly. So that saves you some time because he's able to catch that ball and just boom, one motion.
Yeah.
So that saves you time. And you get the look. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. So that play took, 2 guys to set that up, and then Baldwin hits all 3.
And Coach Nimmo making that call.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, he drew up the perfect play. They executed it perfectly. And so they deserve to be standing down there, getting their pictures taken. And they earned this one, that's for sure. Absolutely.
Well, we hate to sign off. It's been quite the week of basketball here. Every game in the books right here on our streaming live service with James Hinkle Sounds Like Video, and we hope everybody out there enjoyed it. We wanted to try to bring you full coverage of this tournament. That was our goal, and I think we accomplished that. And we, again, just a game. It's fitting that it would end on a game like this. But before we go, we want to thank Primitive Old Crow, Oak Star Bank, the Landmark Restaurant, Jim Resick Auto Group, Hankins Grain, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Aaron Collins. Want to thank C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing. Also, they allowed us to stream on their page. The Landmark Restaurant did as well, and also Primitive Old Crow. And also would love to really thank the El Dorado Springs Chamber of Commerce. They let us stream this week on their page. So it was just allowed us to get the games out there to more platforms so more people could see it. And I want to thank Hobby Time Motorsports and Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping, because it wouldn't have been possible with all our sponsors. And with James and Stacy Hinkle and the video setup that we have, it allows us to get that out. And I hope everybody got to see a lot of basketball this week. And certainly this is a game you go back and watch, no doubt.
Oh, no doubt about it.
On our archive. So just a great tournament. I want to congratulate everybody out there in the tournament, certainly those that played today. Third place girls. And, third place boys, Lakeland winning on the boys' side, and Warrensburg able to get the girls' third place trophy. I'm trying to remember now, Brian, who took 5th on the girls' side. I think that was Odessa. Yeah, I think Odessa beat Lakeland for 5th. Harrisonville took 7th. El Dorado took 5th on the boys' side as well. They defeated KC East last night. So just a great tournament. A lot of good players that we got to see. and you couldn't have asked for more, Brian.
You really couldn't. You really couldn't. Good basketball. Even in the not the championship game, but even if the scores were maybe a little bit apart, there's good players that you're able to see. And you catch yourself watching them instead of the game. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah. We had a few blowouts, but had some really good games, including this one, by far the best of the tournament. And you're going to get that when you have this many games, but a good even balance,
Right.
that we saw across the board. Well, I think that's going to do it, folks. We really appreciate everybody out there joining us. I want to thank James and Stacy Hinkle one more time as well. They are just fabulous on the technical side of things, and I'd like to thank you as well,
Oh, you bet.
Brian
This
Lewis.
has been
For
so much fun.
oh,
brother.
I've really enjoyed it.
Man.
Yeah, I really glad you could to help us out here as well this week, and you've been doing both, coaching and coming up here. So we appreciate that because you didn't have to do that for sure. So I guess our next coverage here on James Hinkle Sounds Like Video is Wednesday night is our next Clinton game. That's the fair, yeah. And Lakeland Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, 5 o'clock, Lakeland and Midway. I think that's a doubleheader that we'll have right back here for you. So lots more basketball to go. We're into the final month, so it'll be about time for district play. That's going to do it, folks, for our tournament coverage. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good weekend, everybody, and go Chiefs.